Wednesday on Mansfield Today, and that's when we talk medical matters. And as usual, our resident GP, Dr. Vicky Skitter. Hello, Doc.
Hello, Jeremy.
Are you well?
Fine, and you?
Yeah, I've just been suffering this week with sinuses, but
Yeah, it's that kind of
yes,
that time of year.
it is that time of year. We need the rains.
We do.
Yeah, we need those rains to start arriving. We're talking diets and dietary habits and all the rest of it today.
Yeah, we're trying to, during this COVID-19 pandemic, we're so tired of hearing that word.
Yeah.
But not only talk about what to supplement or eat to prevent COVID, but also now that we're seeing lots of patients that's had COVID and been in ICU and all of that, and what to do afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's also important.
Okay, Lizanne Free is a registered dietitian. She's also part of the Transform Your Health Network, as well as Dietitians at Work, and she joins us on the medical show. Lizanne, thank you very much for your time. Nice to have you with us.
Ooh, hi, Jeremy. Thank you.
Kyk hoe lekker worteltjies. Ag ja. Hey?
Yes, carrots is good for you.
Have you noticed, as a dietitian, have you noticed a change in people's eating habits over the last 18 months to 2 years?
Yes, definitely. We did notice, like in our practice specifically, a massive change. A lot of people actually gained quite a lot of weight during this pandemic. And I think it's mainly because a lot of people are at home, working from home, they are bored, they are stressed. And I actually also fell into that habit a little bit when we were stuck at home. So definitely. And I also found, like in a study, that there's quite a lot of patients, not just in South Africa, but worldwide, that gained a lot of weight and consumed almost double the amount that they should have consumed during the lockdown. And so I think boredom has a massive thing to do with this as well.
You know what we call it in our practice? We call it lockdown lord.
Yes. Yeah, now you see what doctors say about us behind our backs, eh? Oh, young, he's picked up a bit of lockdown lord.
Oh, it's true. It's something actually.
It is. And it's something that we definitely see on a weekly, daily basis. A lot of people coming in telling me, I gained so much weight during this lockdown. I don't know what to do and how do I get rid of it? So yeah, it's a global thing.
You're just looking at me now. You see, I'm waiting for you to ask a question, and you're looking at me.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to ask you. Besides now the different eating habits, have you found that there are different deficiencies that you see now as well with these different eating habits?
Yes, there's definitely quite a lot of deficiencies that's also peaking out now. So some studies actually found that vitamin D levels in patients that were critically ill with COVID-19 and that were hospitalized, they actually found that 64% of those patients were vitamin D deficient. And then another deficiency that people found were like selenium. And then that is one that I know we don't supplement quite a lot, but there was actually a 42% deficiency in those type of patients that were hospitalized. Another one is vitamin C. Most patients also had a deficiency. And then they also found that there were suboptimal levels of vitamin B12 as well as iron in those patients. So yes, we have definitely seen a deficiency in most patients that were hospitalized during COVID-19.
It's funny, when we were talking about supplements a while back, Doctor, those were some of the ones that you came up with saying you should be having these on a daily basis.
Yeah.
B and B12 and D and zinc. And so it's interesting that all these same sort of things they seem to be recurring over and over.
Yes, definitely.
For people now who have had COVID in some form, and I think a lot of people have actually had COVID, but it didn't, what would the word be, manifest itself to the extent that they had to go into ICU. So I think a lot of people, I know in our household, I think there are 2 children who actually had COVID without us even knowing it right at the beginning of the pandemic. It was just a flu, then. Should we be looking at specific food or food types that we should be eating?
Yes, definitely. So we should definitely be focusing on something like a Mediterranean diet, where it's a combination of all of these vitamins and minerals. So the Mediterranean diet contains quite a lot of legumes, and your legumes contain your iron and your B12, and it's also containing your omega-3s, which is from your fatty fish that you need. And then also you need to look at your vitamin D levels, and that is basically your sunshine vitamin. So we need to make sure that we spend a little bit of time outside now that it's nice and hot in summer again. And then we also need to make sure that we eat all of this bright colored fruit and vegetables, like your citrus fruit, your strawberries, your green peppers, and so forth, because all of those actually contain your vitamin C. And then selenium is mainly found in your nuts, especially your Brazil nuts. So that's always good to have a variety in your diet, making sure that you get your whole grains, making sure that you get your fatty fish, your fruit and vegetables on a daily basis. And if you do that, then you will actually be in optimal health. Then you don't need to always go for supplements or anything like that.
You know what, patients, are you very into gut health as well? Hey, you believe that gut health is good for your immunity. So I often have patients come to me and they say, must we take probiotics or prebiotics? Which one should we take? I even get confused. What's the difference between a probiotic and a prebiotic, and how do we choose which ones to get?
Okay, that's a great question. And yes, I definitely like gut health, because a healthy gut leads to a happy life. So that's what I always say. So it's very important to look at your gut health. But the probiotics and prebiotics are very much similar when looking at it, but they do have different functions. So your probiotics are basically like your live microorganisms that lives in your stomach. And we've got about 100 trillion of them within our gut lining. So it is important to focus on them as well. But then if we take them in adequate amounts, they can provide certain benefits for health specific issues that we're having. Something like if we are on antibiotics and we're getting diarrhea from them, or if we have IBS, sometimes it's just helping us to digest the fiber that's in our stomach. So yes, each and every probiotic also has that unique specific benefit that they do provide. And then when looking at your prebiotics, that's how, again, they are actually the food for the probiotics. They are like the indigestible parts of the food that is fermented in our gut. And then they feed our good bacteria, which is then important for optimal gut health. So that's basically the two. And then the prebiotics also forms short chain fatty acids, and then that is basically needed for an optimal gut barrier. They also contribute to functioning of our immune system, and they do so much more things. So that's basically the difference between the two. Choosing what type of probiotic to follow, what type of probiotic actually to use is quite difficult to actually say. We need to look at that. But firstly, I think go and discuss it with your GP or come to a dietitian. We will be able to give you a little bit more assistance on what to choose and what specific probiotic to use. But what I would generally do is I would look at what is the specific condition that my patient is struggling with, and then find a suitable strain of probiotics that you can actually prescribe for this patient. Then I would try and find a product that has that specific strain within that product. And then I also focus on making sure that there's quite a lot of microorganisms within the product. So making sure that there's more than 100 million microorganisms in that specific product. So that's basically the difference between the two. And then also, if we're looking at your probiotics, we don't always just go for pills and powders and stuff like that. You can actually find it in your kefir, which is a fermented milk. You can also find it in probiotic yogurts. And then your prebiotics is actually quite abundant in our diet as well. They are actually present in like our vegetables, in certain fruits as well, in our whole grains, nuts and legumes. So yeah, you can actually get it quite frequently in your diet. So you don't necessarily need to supplement prebiotics, but probiotics with certain health conditions is sometimes needed.
Lizonda, in your experience, do you find that people go to dietitians of their own will, or are they mainly referred to by GPs? Are we being proactive about our diets, or are we being reactive to them?
So it's a 50-50%. I do get quite a lot of referrals from my GPs, but then there's also a lot of patients phoning me and saying, I'm having a problem. I gained so much weight over the last 18 months. I need your help. Or there's just patients that are feeling like they have a problem with their gut, and they phone me and say, Lizon, I'm not feeling well. Is there any possibility that you would be able to assist me? So I think we are being proactive, especially since COVID-19. Before that, people were not looking really at health, but I figured out like with COVID-19, all of them got like a scare, and they really want to focus on their diet, on their health, because they don't want to get COVID-19. So I think it's a 50-50, if I would say.
Have you guys got a website that people can go to and get details?
Yes, definitely. So they actually can go to Dietitians at Work, to the website, or Transform Your Health Network. So it's www.tyhn.co.za or www.dietitiansatwork.co.za.
Lizon Farif, thank you very much for joining us and sharing that with us. And those are the details. If you're wanting to follow up on this conversation, www.dietitiansatwork.co.za. Dr. Vicky, as always, wonderful to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And you know what? I get so jealous of her. She always looks so healthy and always looks so good. And
It's because of Lizon.
Yeah, okay.
You are what you eat, Jeremy. We have to remember that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, I'm not. Hey, stop it now. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. And as you saw on the ticker tape there, remember to subscribe. That magnificent hamper up for grabs of a whole lot of stuff from Russell and Hobbs. And that prize will be given away by Chef MLK on the 7th of November, right here on Mansfield Today. Till next time, bye-bye.